you walk. And walk by your dad for a little bit. Walk. I know how this works. I'm getting away from annoying children. I'm standing by the adult who's not annoying in this household right now. Here we are at Bryce Canyon National Park.
Remember this is Park Linden? Mm-hmm. So here's our overview. We had a campground we stayed at for a few days in Kanab. Gave us easy access to the north rim of Grand Canyon, Zion, which we went to the next day, and then Bryce Canyon. So as you can see, it's like a hour-and-a-half drive from our campground to Bryce Canyon. And we initially wanted to get there in time for sunrise at Bryce Canyon. Yeah. So we left our campground at like 3 o'clock in the morning to get there because sunrise was like at 5:45 or something like that. So yeah. drove the long drive up to Bryce Canyon, and we had read that if you want to see sunrise, it's better to see it there's a couple points. One is Sunrise Point and one is Sunset Point. And it's actually better to see the sunrise over Sunset Point. And you can kind of see the geography of Bryce Canyon. It's not really a canyon, it's more of a bowl. And here's the picture of sunrise. It was nice and overcast for us, so we didn't really get to see much of a sunrise at all. But it was a nice view nonetheless.
Yeah, it was very cloudy.
And then we decided to do this Navajo Loop hike, starting at Sunset Point, and we decided to go, I guess, counterclockwise, starting at this one section here with all the switchbacks from Sunset Point. This is going down to what's called the Wall Street section.
Mm-hmm. Everything I had read said that it was better to do those switchbacks first. Going down.
Yeah, going down. Here's Chantel freaking out about the heights.
But I wasn't freaking out about the heights personally for myself. I was freaking out about the heights for the kids, as in the fact that short and shorter here get crazy. Sometimes they'll bicker back and forth with one another, and then they don't pay attention, and then there's a drop-off. And what's drop-off equal?
Death.
Were you scared, Lyndon?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, this hike stuff actually didn't scare me. The heights of this park did not scare me. Other parks did, but I don't know, I felt a little bit more secure.
And one of the first shots that you saw Carson take a picture of is called Thor's Hammer. Remember that? Did you see that at all when you were hiking down there?
I don't know.
Do you know why it's called Thor's Hammer?
No.
Well, you'll see the picture and you'll see why it's called Thor's Hammer. I wonder why it's called Thor's Hammer.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it looks like Thor's hammer.
Yep. And at this point, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and so it was. We were pretty much the only ones in the park. I mean, there was a few other people, obviously, but because it was overcast, there wasn't hardly anyone there, and so it was very peaceful. We did see some guy running up those switchbacks. He had gone down the other side and was running back up there. He was he was a big marathon guy. You could definitely tell.
He was geared up with water bottles and everything else. So right now we're probably about a couple hundred feet down into the canyon, and you can start seeing why they call this area the Wall Street section. It reminded me a lot of Lord of the Rings when they're hiking through when the hobbits were going to mountains and cliffs and stuff. This is the Wall Street section. There's Carson with his one of his dramatic poses again.
It's just real tall and heavy.
I think we're coming out of the Wall Street section here and into the actual bottom part of the bowl part of the canyon, which again it's not really a canyon, it's more of a bowl, but they call it Bryce Canyon, named after, was it some Mormon guy that owned the area, and his name was Bryce.
I believe so. I can't remember exactly, but I believe you're right.
Yeah.
If you want to know exactly,
There's a thing called
Google.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia's not always right.
I would actually just look it up on
National
NPS, NPS, National Park System. They will give you the correct information.
Here at the bottom of the bowl, there's a little offshoot trail going into, I think it's called, Queen's Garden. Remember this at all, Lyndon?
I think.
You think so?
Maybe.
You remember why it's called Queen's Garden?
It's because there's gardens.
No. Anyway, there's a rock feature that looks like a British queen. I think it's Queen Victoria. We'll see a picture of it here. But this is where we start. Yeah, this is where we start getting right up and close and personal to a lot of the formations called hoodoos.
Walk. You two walk.
I think it's a
Walk by
Indian
your
word.
dog a little bit.
Walk. I know how this works.
I'm getting away from annoying children. I'm standing by the adult who's not annoying in this household right now.
This is where you're telling me I'm not being annoying right now. Yay. I'm not being annoying now.
Well, I mean, you're a husband, so you're going to be annoying sometimes.
Well, same with wives.
I don't know, this park, it was just my favorite park to hike in. It was my favorite national park.
There's the Queen.
Oh, there it is, Queen Victoria. It was my favorite. I think it's my favorite national park of all of them that we've been to. But I know
You said that about the last 3 parks.
Queen Bee's better.
I know I said it about Arches. I know I said it about Canyonlands. I know I said it about Capitol Reef. But I think out of all of them that we've been through the years, I think it is my favorite. It's one I had wanted to go to. Like, it's one that I had dreamed of going to for years and years and years. And I think it's just one of my favorites. But I really enjoyed hiking in this park too.
It also helped that it wasn't 100 degrees.
And it wasn't crowded the third week of July,
Yeah.
which a lot of the national parks are in July, very crowded. But because of the rain, everyone stayed away. So my suggestion, if you want to stay away from crowds, go to the parks when it's raining. No one else wants to go then. And we're not afraid of a little rain.
There where we started.
I don't want to.
Nolan?
I don't want to take a picture over there.
Oh, here's where I think you had a little pep talk with the kids behind this rock. I think you told them to shape up or ship out, or we'll kick them down the hill or something. As you can see that a little bit of attitudes change, but then you can see that Chantel's visibly not happy.
Yeah, actually it is.
Do
So.
it for the ball. Keep going.
I had to have said something to him.
And you can see here the relative size of the hoodoos. I mean, they're massive.
So cool.
So now we're walking up the other side of the bowl, and this is where it got pretty scary. Chantel had a little bit of
Asthma attack.
a asthma attack.
And I hadn't had an asthma attack in years and years. But they said it wasn't, go up the side because it wasn't too steep. But at this point it started all out pouring rain on us. And so we were trying to get out of there as fast as we can. So we were barreling up, and it's pouring rain, and then the altitude change and everything. I guess.
A little too much.
Yep.
So here we are. We got back in the car and we drove down the main road of the park to go to Bryce Point and see what the views were like there. But by the time we got there, you couldn't see anything. It was literally in the clouds.
Yeah.
So we went back down to this inspiration point and took some pictures. There's a, you can call it natural bridge there, but at this point now the park was getting crowded. This is why we come early in the morning. I think at this point we decided to get dried off into the visitor center.
Yep.
Enjoyed some dry conditions. Kids played around a little bit. I think they had Wi-Fi because I think that's why the older kids were checking their messages and Snapchats, Snap tweets, whatever you want to call them.
Instagram.
Me too, David.
If I did. This is how they spend all of their vacation.
I got people asking me if I can hang out.
I got.
You know you're on vacation?
They mean when I get back.
And then here's where we went to the other side of the park. So we actually had to leave the park to get to this other side where it's something called Mossy Cave. It's about a half-mile hike out to the cave.
Yep.
Remember this, Lyndon?
Yes,
Remember why they call it Mossy Cave?
because it's mossy inside of the cave.
Well, don't ruin it. You just spoiler alert, it's a mossy cave.
Wow, it's not self-explanatory.
This is a neat side of the park too. It's a little different than the other part of the park, but you saw hoodoos and stuff, but it was just different.
Here's the cave. And of course, there's Chantel. She's breathing hard again.
Because, like, I thought this was going to be a simple little part of the hike, and then right before we got to the cave, the incline went up again.
So there's the mossy cave. There's the kids in front of the mossy cave.
Oh no, I ruined it.
There's a sign about Tropic Ditch.
Building an oasis. And I think this is where I was joking around with Elise. I told her I was going to throw her in.
With the picture?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's up a couple pictures. At one point I joked around with her, told her I was going to throw her in that river. Right here. She didn't want to stand there because she said, "Well, are you going to throw me in?" I was like, "Yes, I am."
Oh, here's another one of Carson's dramatic poses, and obviously we try to make fun of it as much as possible. So he finally got his picture, pondering nature.
So that's it. Next time we'll see you in Zion. So until then, like, subscribe, and we will
Comment, share, thumbs up, ring
Thanks.
bell. Bye.